Okay, let's talk about it. I made a video the other day about my life story. Well, a part of it. I know how TikTok works. As expected, I got some backlash, some criticism, but I got tagged in a video this morning and that was way out of pocket. So let's talk about it point by point. At the same time, I took her birth control pill she was on and flushed them down the toilet. Again, dead broke, $500.
You know, this is problematic as fuck, and I don't know why nobody in the comments is seeing this. Don't get me wrong, I love to see this content creators, family, and everything else, and it's dope that, you made your way out of no way. That's cool.
We'll start there. She self-admitted that she loves seeing my content and she loves seeing my family. So she's familiar with my content and she's seen my content before. So as somebody who loves watching my content, that video wasn't the first video of mine that you've seen. Okay.
And it's dope that, you made your way out of no way. That's cool. But y'all are glossing over the fact that even when he was dead the fuck broke, he told her they were going to get married and have a baby.
You made 2 points there that I want to discuss. I was broke and I told her we was going to have a baby and get married. So number one, yes, I was broke at the time, but I have a career and I had a career at the time. I stated that in the video and I stated it in previous videos. I'm a professional fighter. Meaning, one fight, I can get paid extremely low if it's a last minute fight. The next fight, I can get paid extremely high. That was also reiterated in the video where I said I made $500 for one fight, but then I signed a 6-figure contract the next fight. That was a month in between each other. I made $500, then I made $50,000. So yes, I was broke, and that was absolutely true. But what was also true at the exact same time is that I had a promising career that I was one step away from, and I knew I was one step away from. The second part, I told her we was getting married and having kids. You love my content. You've seen my content before. So the exact same way how you assuming, I'm going to assume that you've seen my content where I've said I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married, but I found a woman that was right for me and that made me change my mind because I wanted her to have my children and I wanted to get married to her. So now that we know that my wife was the one that wanted marriage and kids first, when I came to her and said we getting married and we having kids, it was a celebratory conversation. So it was a celebratory conversation. She was happy that we are finally on the same page. And she knew, yeah, we broke, but you one step away from breaking into everything you ever wanted. And the recurring theme in the original video is that we prayed together. Right after we had that conversation, what did we do? We prayed together. So was it true that I told her we was getting married and we was having babies? Absolutely. Was it also true that we had a full conversation in detail after I told her that? Absolutely.
They were going to get married and have a baby. Then he took her birth control and flushed it down the toilet because he wanted to get married and have a baby, even though he couldn't afford their rent at that time.
Yes, I flushed her birth control down the toilet because we wanted to have a baby, because we wanted to get married. As I stated previously, she wanted to have a baby and get married before I did. When I flushed them pills down the toilet, it was my sign to tell her I'm serious. I want this. I want this family. I want your hand in marriage. I want us. I'm here. That was the sign. And what'd she say? You know what your Christmas gift gonna be? A baby. And what was my Christmas gift that year? A baby. We already addressed the point about rent. Faith of a mustard seed.
Because he wanted to get married and have a baby, even though he couldn't afford their rent at that time. Neither one of them could. I swear, y'all gloss over the most egregious shit simply because you like a motherfucker, and that is a problem. He completely disrespected and disregarded her bodily autonomy on his own feeling. And I don't want to hear shit about trusting the process and having faith. That's bullshit. He violated her, and nobody's talking about it.
So far we established it was a we thing and not a he thing. In the original video, I didn't mention that we stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning talking about this after I originally brought it up to her. Because when you're telling a story, you usually tell a point and then go to the next point instead of elaborating on one point and getting completely sidetracked on the original story you was telling. So based on the fact that you were given a lack of information on one point, you assumed the most malicious outcome of that point. This whole situation will make more sense if this is your first time seeing my content. And even then, you could have just asked for me to elaborate. And if you didn't get an answer to the comment of asking me to elaborate, the best solution to that isn't making a narrative, running with that narrative, making a video, calling me a violator and an abuser. My entire platform has been built on me being vulnerable and me sharing and expressing how excited I am to have a family and how much me and my family love each other and how much me and my wife love each other and how happy we are to have a family and kids. Even if you've never seen any of those videos, ask a question. If you don't get an answer to your question, don't assume the most malicious shit that you can possibly think of out of the equation that you're confused about. Because you quickly go from being confused to pushing a very harmful narrative and rhetoric. Not at one point did I violate her. Not at one point did I disrespect her body autonomy. Not at one point did I not take her opinion for face value. I've always been huge on consent, communication, and honesty. Those are 3 core values that I stand on, and I'm raising 2 daughters to be the exact same way. If you're confused, be confused, ask a question. Do not come for my character. To answer your last point, the reason people are in the comments congratulating, because they've been here. They understand, most of them. They understand what I've been through. They understand the journey, the vulnerability that I've put on this platform. Most importantly, God bless you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.